Yo, what is up guys? Today, your boy QingyiLover, yes, the only dude on the planet who gets to wake up and kiss a 4'8" android wife on the forehead. And today, oh my god, do we have a certified nuclear warhead of a video. Today's topic is about everyone's favorite dog fucking weirdo, Deshi Marsh. Yes, he is a literal dog fucker by his own logic. Now, why should I be listening to Hitler himself? Yes, according to these people, I am Hitler, so why should you be listening to me? Well, at the end of the day, undermining atrocities and equivocating them to mindless banter on the internet is just basically these people's forte. Yeah, nothing screams Hitler quite like spending $10,000 on the same character over and over again. Ooh, spooky. Unsurprisingly, his entire fan base is basically sub 10 IQ. It's pretty much an echo chamber circle jerk that he blocks everyone out of if he doesn't agree with them. At the end of the day, they're all stupid. They don't even know how to fucking use YouTube. Anyways, Deshi, my sweet summer child here, walks around and he's basically just another one of these short stack equivocators, just like anyone else. But the irony coming from this side of the zoo is just pretty confusing. At the end of the day, these might be stylized animal characters, but that's the thing. Your fucking logic, you are a full-blown zoophile. And no, don't try to squirm out of it. At the end of the day, you set the precedent. If one is attracted to a stylized fictional character that shares traits with a protected category, they're automatically into the real thing. That is your logic, bro. Honestly, if you line up the faces, I would say it's much closer to the real life counterpart than any of the characters that you guys want to crucify people for. I may only like Qingyi, but even I can point out the ideological flaw in this entire statement. So if your stance is short, big eyes, fictional equals real, then I would be able to say snout, paw, tail, furry equals real as well. It's the same energy, it's the exact same argument. They share traits with the real thing, so you want the real thing. That's the argument. You don't get to cherry pick when the logic applies though. The convenience of your argument is basically because this thing is anthropomorphic, it can't be real. And the exact same argument goes backwards to the crowd you're targeting. Lucky for you, someone like me is actually arguing for your convenience. I don't really believe in the whole ideology that if something shares some natural traits with another thing, it must be that thing. Mutual exclusivity exists for a reason. It's okay for things to share a trait. That does not mean that they are exactly the same thing. Example 1. Both of these items are a fruit. They share the trait of being a fruit. But one is an apple and one is an orange. They have independent categories. It would be undeniably a logical flaw for you to call the apple an orange. People like this are no better than vegans who have problems with everybody who eats meat. I will not tell someone where their ethics should lie. At the end of the day, if you don't want to eat meat because you don't like that animals die for it, there's no ultimate problem with that. At the end of the day, it is your choice to not eat meat. Your body, more power to you. But the attempt to police the internet and tell other people what they should be doing with their body when what you are doing is objectively pretty head turning at the end of the day turns this whole thing into a degenerate dick measuring competition where one side is trying to prove that the other one is slightly more morally ambiguous than the other. Ironically enough, a 2011 study showed that sexual abuse of minors decreased in Japan as Elcon media proliferated. No correlation to fictional depictions in real life predation have been found to date. For a topic with so much broad discussion, you'd think that there would be at least some study in the bias group that would give their speculation at least a bit of merit. However, there is none to date. Ironically enough, in the 2008 State of the Fandom survey, 17.1% of furries identified themselves as zoophiles willingly. Now, do I really think this makes him a zoophile? Of course not. However, it does prove that he is more statistically likely to be a zoophile than any of the people that he is calling a pedo are to be a pedo. Now, at the end of the day, I personally wish that everyone could just shut the fuck up and get along. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all just enjoying this same niche together. The most ideal version of this fandom is one where everyone learns to separate when there is something they don't like about another piece of the fandom. Imagine how much better your feed would be if every time you scrolled, it was devoid of annoying slacktivism that never accomplishes anything. I bet you would love that fucking feed. My question to the real hard antis is, why do you want people to be offenders so bad? Is there something that you gain from other people's suffering? Like this natural obsession with people being predators when they're not is kind of strange. It's almost like you want there to be more people being made victims by the hands of these people just so that you could prove that you're right. The natural thought should be, I hope they're not one, and there's nothing that proves they are. So why would I make such a brash jump in conclusion about this human being I am talking to? And that's not to say that you shouldn't be able to be independent from it. If you don't like it, that's fine. Most algorithms provide a feature that has a way for you to mitigate the amount of content of a certain specific genre that you are getting. Ironically enough, most slacktivists probably put a lot more of the content that they don't want on their recommended feed just by interacting with it so often. Why are we falling for this trap again? At the end of the day, all of the Hoyo fandoms up to now have sucked because everyone is just so caught up on morally grandstanding, over fighting over ships, over whatever, when all the best fandoms that have ever existed were built on the notion of learning to put aside differences and enjoy the content for what it is. This has been QingyiLover, and I'll catch you guys next time. Love you all. Drink hot water. Peace out.